And this is about half the size of a Cape turtle dove, which is a more commonly known and regularly seen dove in this area. And again, it's stopping at times like this and enjoying a sighting of some of the less well-known characters that often can provide you with intelligence to find bigger animals. We could hear elephants breaking branches or monkeys alarm calling at something that they don't like the look of, all while enjoying watching this little bird go about its morning. It'll be feeding predominantly on grass seeds that would have fallen down from the blades of grass. Stretch, and what's it going to do next? Is it going to potentially dust bath there? There's a small, no, it's just going to fly off. Good. Oh, now this is interesting, and we're going to stop here and get a visual of not one, not two, but three very, very pretty birds of prey. Now, it's not common to see three of these adults together, and it takes about 8 years for them to get their breeding plumage, or adult plumage. And I wonder what it is that's attracted all three of them to this area. They are called Bateleurs. And we're going to try and get a little bit closer for two reasons: to show you how pretty they are when we do get a little bit closer, but also just to double check and make sure that there are no signs of a predator in the area, because these birds do feed predominantly on carrion. They can catch their own food, but they are great indicators for us to help us find animals like leopards with their kills or any carcasses. So let's try and make our way in a little bit closer and see what they are all doing there. Just to keep you all updated on Brent's movements, he has sadly broken one of the brake lines, which can happen when you're off-roading, which he obviously has been following Shadow's cub with all of you. So he's just heading in to get that fixed up, but hopefully that won't take too long to rectify. But just to let you know what he's up to. Please may these Bateleurs not fly away. It will be such a beautiful sighting if they stay. What will also be great is if they are in fact here because of a carcass of some sort. Their feathers, getting ready to fly, so we're just going to stop here before we try and get any closer. And look at that for a beautiful, beautiful sight. bright red beaks and feet. Now, you can identify these birds of prey, or in terms of their gender, simply by looking at them, even when they are sitting down like this. It's a little bit easier when they're flying. I can tell that the bird on the top is a male, and the two below I cannot tell because of the way they are sitting, but as they move from side to side, that should become clear to us. And what I'll do is I'll get the picture and the book ready to show you how to distinguish between male and female. Now, have a close look at the Bateleur on the right here, and you'll notice that below this creamy shoulder feathers, you could say, the trailing edge is black, where my finger is now, whereas on the female there'll be a grey panel on the trailing edge, which appears white when the female is flying, and the male is half black, half white. So now, as Andrew will take you back to the Bateleur sitting in the tree, you will clearly see that the one on the top has got the black trailing edge. The two on the side we cannot see because they're facing us, but they could well swivel around at some stage. Now, the reason why I said it was strange to have three adults together is that they are monogamous, so they form pairs for life. And to find three adults together is very strange. Like I said, it takes about 8 years for them to get their adult plumage, so it won't be two adults with one of their recent offspring. And the male certainly seems to be peering down at what could be two females below it, very intently. And like a lot of the animals, especially the birds at this time of the year, they spend the first few hours of the day relaxing, basking in the sunshine, warming up, and the birds of prey will be in no rush, because for them to be able to fly around effortlessly, it requires hot thermals to be rising off the earth. As the earth warms up, they can then ride these warm thermals of air spiraling up from the ground, allowing them to fly very efficiently and not waste much energy. But at the moment, it's not quite warm enough to do that yet. So that's what they're waiting for. Unless, of course, there is something nearby, a kill of sorts. But I don't think so. I think this is just a comfortable tree that they've decided to spend the night in. If we saw them sitting in a tree that would be less easy for them to land in or sit in, we could then assume that it would be more likely for a kill to be nearby. And because this is such a abnormal sighting, that there are three adults around, I'm going to get out my camera. That's been in hospital for the last few weeks, and this will be the first few shots I fire off after months of not having taken any photographs, which I'm looking forward to. Beautiful. Let's see if we can try and get a little bit closer. Now that we've let them relax with our presence at this distance, we can try and see if we can get you a slightly closer image. Just got an update from Bob saying that she thinks the one on the right is a female. And thanks for sending through that update, Bob. I'm guessing that's the one now that's just flown up closer to the male on the top of this dead tree. And I haven't been able to get a good glimpse of the white wing panels, although now that it is sitting at a slight angle, it looks like Bob is indeed correct. Yeah, so well done, Bob. Thanks very much for sending that through. And obviously Bob's been taking notes of all the little pointers and lessons we give along the way. And now we can see the one on the bottom left is, ooh, it looks like a male. Yeah, the one on the left is a male. So 2 males, 1 female. Very interesting. Now I can't explain that. Maybe the male on the left has lost its mate. Maybe it's trying to steal this mate from the male we can see. We'll never know the answer, but a really pretty sighting this is to have 3 of them together. And as I said, it is warming up. And you may have just heard my zip being drawn down, as I am going to take my jacket off now. Well, now that we had a close look at them, and I think it's fairly safe to say that there's no carcass in this area, I think we'll move off and see what else we can find. Very good. Very, very good. Bateleurs, even though you didn't alert us to a kill this morning, I'm sure one day you will, and regardless of that, it was a really pretty sighting and a unique one to see 3 of them all perched together. At the moment, but it's still something very interesting, an interesting relationship that is had between a bird and an insect. Now, as I've said, it's no longer active, but what you'll see here is a bird's nest, and to the left of the bird's nest, it almost looks like snake skin. This grey matter. That's an abandoned wasp's nest. And even though there's no wasps there now, in summer when this blue waxbill would have built its nest, it's a very small little bird, it would have been searching for the wasps called vespid wasps before it built its nest, and it would have done this because it knows that these wasps are highly aggressive, and if it builds its nest very close to the wasp's nest, any intruders like snakes or mongooses or bigger birds trying to raid the nest will be attacked by its own private security system. And isn't that a wonderful relationship, an interesting relationship, how one specific bird has realized the benefits of building its nest close to the wasps. And we did see one or two in summer when these little blue waxbills were nesting. And all these little relationships that we have out here are so wonderful, and so many of them we don't know about or too small for us to understand, but that certainly is a great example of how clever a lot of the animals are and how much they rely on other animals in order for them to succeed.